welcome to the IRONMAN 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. This is the beautiful Atlantic coast of Western France here. This is the Bay of Biscay where the athletes will be swimming today. The Western French coast is also known as the Côte de Lumière, and it is the first IRONMAN 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée race since 2019. It's the 10th event of the Ironman Pro Series, 7th IRONMAN 70.3 in the series there, Joe.
Yes, Greg, thanks for having me on the show tonight. This event boasts strong pro fields with 25 female and 44 male pros, including defending female champion Charlene Clavel and Maya Stage Nelson, who is currently ranked 7th in the point standings, and Julie Amello, currently ranked 17th. Notably, Rico Bogan and Gustav Eden are making their first starts in the Ironman Pro Series.
Yes, and 2,500 points today go to the pro male and pro female winners here today. And the weather, Joe, looks pretty good, presented by Roca.
Yeah, not too bad. It's a good racing temperature there, 62 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 17 degrees Celsius. It's a little cloudy right now, feels around 62 and 62 degrees Fahrenheit. A little bit of wind out of the northeast, not much sun to speak of, and the humidity is quite high, but expect to drop off as the clouds sort of dissipate.
There is Marjolaine Jolet and also Clément Mignon. They are boyfriend-girlfriend. They hail out of Nice, France, in southern France. They are training out of the area there, and that is also where Clément hails from. So they are looking good. Let's go over and take a look at our men's pro notables today. Let's start out with the 70.3 world champion from 2023, Rico Bogan from Germany, off to a great start of the year as well. Gustav Eden. Welcome back, Gustav, the Ironman world champion. Clément Mignon from France also, Arnaud Guillot.
And then we have Nicolas Quinet from South Africa, who's currently residing in Boulder. Had a good start to the season. Nicholas Mann having a great start also. Cam Worth is finally actually showed up to a race, which is great to see. He'll be there.
Tasmanian.
The Tasmanian, fellow
like
Tasmanian.
There,
exactly like me. Rasmus Venningson, after his win at Ironman South Africa early this year, is back to race the 70.3. George Goodwin and Yuri Kluin as well, who recent win in Singapore.
Yeah, good to see Yuri Kluin racing again. Had a good race in Singapore, but he's been out since then. All right, in their female pro notables today, let's start out with Emily Morier from France, and then also Marjolaine Pierre. And there is Kate Curran from the United Kingdom. Maya Stage Nielsen is having a good year so far there, Joe, and one of the favourites today.
Yeah, and also we have Charlene Clavel, Pamela Oliveira, who watch for her in the swim. She's a very, very fast swimmer. Daniela Blamel from Germany, a very strong biker. Nikki Bartlett as well, very good on the bike and the run. Caroline Pohl, also a very good swimmer. Watch for her to get out early in the swim. And Luisa Ignoga Prat, also the Italian, a very, very good swimmer.
Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée here on the west coast of France. We are expecting a fantastic race here today. It's a great swim course, an even better bike course, and the run course is so good for the spectators out there. Let's go over, Joe, and take a look at our men's Pro Series standings right now. No change at the top, however. Matty Hansen hung on to it last week with 10,693, but the big mover in the field up 5 slots was Jackson Laundry.
Yeah, no one's going to be catching Matt Hansen anytime soon. He's really come out this season with all guns blazing, so fantastic to see him right at the #1 position. But yeah, Jackson Laundry, very consistent, inching his way towards the top there, but looking really good so far.
Colin Such in 3rd place there. He went up 2 spots as Patrick Langer went down 2. So the 2-time Ironman world champion down a couple. Chris Leiferman stays, he went up 6th there into 5th place. Justin Rial had a great race up there in Mont Tremblant. Nick Thompson in 7th. There's Mark Carney, had a good race as well, just fading at the end there at Tremblant. Andre Lopez and Braden Curry over there in Cairns a couple of weeks ago in 2nd spot. Over to our women's. Kylie Simpson, no change at the top there. And Fenella Langridge hanging on to 2nd place.
Yeah, no, they're a long way in front right now. Obviously, you can see that they've raced 2 of the Ironmans, which carry more weight in the Ironman points. So no surprise there, but great starts to the year as we reach the halfway point of the season. Then we've got Lotta Williams and Hannah Berry doing very well from New Zealand. Daniela Lewis some great 70.3 races there. She's racked up 3 races already and sitting in 6th. And Majestage Nelson also looking really good there as well.
Yeah, Maya, she's racing today as well, so look for her to go up the rankings. Alice Alberts and Ellie Salthouse, Emma Pallant-Brown rounding out the top 10 there. Emma going down 2 spots, but expect her to go back up a few when she starts again. She's in a little bit of a break right now. She had a really big start to the year. Look at these beautiful overhead shots. That's the Atlantic Ocean. This is the Bay of Biscay. And what's really cool about this course, Joe, is that they swim the first part in the open water here. Then they go down the canal. Now, the canal here is just so unreal. It's sort of reminiscent of what they do up in Klagenfurt at the Ironman Austria when they swim down the canal and then they exit the water. All right, there is the long-awaited return of Gustav Eden from Norway there. He's just getting ready for his race here today. So let's go over and take a look at our course maps right now. We'll start out with the Roker swim course.
Yeah, the Roker swim course, the 1.9 kilometre, 1.2 mile swim is as Greg said, a point-to-point ocean swim. Swim starts on the beach in front of Les Antilles with athletes competing in the historic Vendée Globe Canal. The Vendée Globe Canal is the starting and finishing location of the Vendée Globe, the round the world yacht race that began in 1989.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
amazing.
A very interesting place to have a triathlon there, and amazing, great for a swim.
Yeah, absolutely. Then way back down into the marina where they get out at the boat ramp there, run up into the transition, a nice little run up there onto the full gas bike course, 90 kilometres or 56 miles. They will start. It's only a one looper. Full gas bike course takes you east of the city and into the Alon Forest, and then beyond the breathtaking French country side is the challenging rolling hills, and the elevation gain on this one, Joe, is 600 metres. So it is going to be a challenge on the far end of the bike course there. And then once they get to the 80 kilometre marker or so, dead flat all the way back into Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée.
Yeah, and from there they jump straight into the Hoka run course, the 21.1 kilometre or 13.1 mile. It's a 2-loop flat course. This year the athletes will complete 2 laps to reach the 21.1 kilometre distance of the Hoka run course. Competitors will run on the promenade along the Tanche Lake and across the finishing line in the centre of town. Athletes will then run the 200 metres along the Grand Plage beach to the finishing line.
Exactly, right down there in the centre of town there, and then we'll have the end of the race there. So that is the course out there today, the swim, bike and run right here in Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. So pro male introductions coming up here pretty soon on the other side of the break. You're looking at the beautiful overhead shots of this incredible Vendée region here. We've got a lot to get through today in 70.3 racing. The Ironman Pro Series heats up. It is the halfway point of the 2024 Ironman Pro Series, and right after the break we'll have all the action from the western coast of France. This is the 2024 Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée, and we are looking at our start of the race coming up here very, very shortly. We can see that the men are getting pushed back on the line here, Joe.
Yeah, no, a little bit of a hustle and bustle there, getting themselves positioned. Yeah, they sort of came in through the front there, so it caught a bit of chaos there for a minute, but they've sorted themselves out. The nerves are high, and we're not that far away from the men's start here today for the Roker swim course.
Oh, it's going to be a good little tussle here underneath the arch. They're sort of like looking at each other. The elbows are going to be flying here. And you watch this start as they will push them back here. The crowd will get pushed back in just a second as we anticipate the start for sure.
Yeah, I saw Camworth there in the pink cap, putting himself centre forward, right in the mix. So Camworth won't hold back at all, and hopefully with this long run he'll position himself well and have a good swim, because I'd love to see him mix it up.
There's Cameron
on the bike.
Right there. Cameron with the pink hat there. You can see just getting psyched up. There's Arnaud Guillot, the tall figure of Arnaud. There is Clément Mignon right there in the green cap. In the other pink cap there, you can see Gustav Eden and Rico Bogan. Orange cap is Gustav Eden. Now, why is Gustav standing on the second line?
He does this. I've noticed this. I remember at the World Championships in 2021 when he won, he was on the second line. I don't know, but he's picked a good person to follow.
Look, it's premeditated. You know what he's going to do. He's just going to run onto the feet of Rico Bergen and try and get a nice slingshot out of the first part of the swim, because he's not the fastest swimmer in the world, but he is tough and he can hang on there. So I would imagine that he's going to chase the tail of Rico today.
Yeah, especially with those run speed. Let's hope his Achilles is back to 100%, because this running on the sand might test that. So for the best of luck for him today, and gets through in a good shape and has a good run.
Yes, exactly. All right, we're 40 seconds away from the race start here. We can hear the bells of Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. This is getting very exciting with 30 seconds out. Who is going to take the early lead on the swim? My guess is Rico Bergen. Schuster's in there. He's a good swimmer as well. And Gustav Eden probably in the chase group, or he'll be in the lead group there for a little bit. But it will be very interesting to see the start. All right, Joe, let's take a few moments to just silence up here and enjoy the sights and sounds of Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée.
And they're away, Walshy. What an amazing start there. Watch for the pink cap of Yuri Kluin. He didn't get much of a mention in the lead-up, but he was a late addition to the start list. And if he's on today, he'll be one of the guys on the podium for sure. So
100% there. You know that Yuri, he had a great race in Singapore this year in April, and had a really good, strong bike ride, which set him up for the day down there. Very hot, very humid, but today it's the first race for Yuri back on the start line. He's wearing number 53 today. He will be starting as one of the favourites out there, and Rico Bergen wasted no time getting out there in the start. There you can see him there on the left-hand side of the pack right now in the orange cap and the white sleeves in that wetsuit there, and you can see that the waiting was actually quite long there. You can see one of the officials down there. He's about 25 metres into it, and is up to his knees. So, off to a great start here at Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée with our men's pros. Our women's are on deck, and just after the break, they will be getting their day underway here. But it's Rico Bergen, the world champion at 70.3, leading the way here in France. This is the Bay of Biscay here on the west coast of France right now, and you are watching the 2024 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. This is the 10th race of the Ironman Pro Series here this year. They are getting after that $1.7 million of bonus pool money that will be coming up just after the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in Lake Taupo in New Zealand on December 14, December 15th, which will round out an incredible year there, Joe. A record-setting year for Ironman and Ironman Pro Series as we anticipate the start of our women's race.
Yeah, an amazing opportunity for these pros to really get out there and race even more and race for some really great prize money. So here we are in the starters' hands. We're not far away, about 20 seconds from my calculations to the start of the female race today.
Here we go. We're lining up right now. We can see that there's Marjolaine Joly and also Maya Stage Nielsen there in the pink cap, and there she is, Clavel in there, the defending champion. They're underway right now. So our women are underway here in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée, and this, the 10th race of the year. 3 of the Ironman races will count toward their point score and the bonus money, and then they will round out with 5 total events. So 2 Ironman 70.3s, heavily weighted on the Ironman races here, but here we go in the Bay of Biscay. This is where the weighting comes in. Joe, explain the weighting and how much energy it takes and zaps your body away.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to hold a little bit of energy back, and the good athletes who actually make it look easy, they're actually just saving a little bit. So when they actually do get to swim, the heart rate isn't through the roof and they can actually swim. So here we go. I think we've got in the pearly pink Curran. That's pink colour. That's Curran.
And Kate Curran from the UK.
And then Pole in the orange. And then I'm trying to see.
Marjolaine Pierre is in there with the green cap.
In the green cap. So yeah, some of the favourites that we sort of picked out before are doing the job right now, and maybe Morier there closest to camera. on the right of screen. So yeah, and off the back there, I think that will be Blamel in the neon yellow.
Yeah, Daniela Blamel, not the fastest swimmer out there, but a good one, and she's very strong on the bike. We know that she will make her way through the field there. We got the defending champion, that is Charlene Clavel, sitting in there from France as well. So at the moment, you can throw a blanket over the field, but that will break up as they make those two right-hand turns before hitting the channel there. But leading the race right now, right up there is Marjolaine Pierre from France, and there is Maya Stige Nielsen in there from Denmark with the pearly pink cap there. In the orange cap as well, Emily Murier and Pamela Oliveira. So there's Pamela from Brazil. She's a great swimmer there, Joe.
Yeah, that's in the green cap. I think we have Olivier from Brazil, which, as we talked about earlier, an ITU background, very, very good swimmer. But in the silver cap, I think, I'm going to put my neck out here, that's Julie Amello, the French lady in the silver cap. She was one of the ones without a cap because I can pick her stroke. So if I'm wrong, Welshie, but I think that's Julia.
Well, that's great. Well, being a coach, Joe, it's important to know your athlete's strokes. And let's talk about the stroke right now, because this is a beautiful open water swim style, Joe. I love the way that they come out of the water about every 6th or 8th stroke. Oh, there it goes right there, and navigate. Make sure that you're drawing the fastest line, and that is between 2 points there, straight between those two buoys. They'll turn around at the reds, and then they'll hit the channel there. But this is a beautiful open water swim style.
It really is, yeah, beautiful. And what a great vantage point for the spectators here to get such a close look at the athletes here racing today and support them all the way. And so, yeah, they're into the channel, and look, that's an amazing swim stroke. And just sitting in second there, Imolo, I think, would sitting there in quite the good position, catching the draft of the first place.
Yeah, exactly. So Kate Curran right in there, and so we were enjoying beautiful shots here of the west coast of France right now. You can see all the Hobie cats sitting up there on the wall there. This is a big sailing area in France, and as you were mentioning, Joe, on the Roca swim course here, the channel is also used for the round the world yacht race.
Yeah, the one I mentioned, been going since 1989. So I think that's actually the men's race. Sorry to be correct, we just
men's race coming down through the channel.
Through the channel. So I think leading there in the purple would have been the South African Kone.
Yeah, Kone, he's a great swimmer. He did this as well just recently, and he loves to get out there and swim hard and bike hard as well, and had a great race just a few weeks back. And as you can see, he's leading this group here now, Joe, right in the middle of the things there. You can see that there's a whole bunch of swimmers just sitting on the white water, picking up the draft, picking up the bubbles, and limiting the amount of work that they have to do. And how much, savings of energy are they sort of going through right now?
It's really hard to know, but I'd wager a guess on maybe about 15-20%, maybe not like cycling, sitting on someone's wheel, but you are definitely getting a big advantage. And plus, you can just follow the bubbles and not actually have to sight, which is a bigger energy saving as well, as long as the person in front is obviously swimming straight. So you want to check now and then.
Yeah, swimming a little bit wide around that yellow buoy there. A little bit of a current just heading in there. You can see that they're swimming into a bit of wind right now, and the wind coming in the offshore direction from the northeast at around about 4 kilometres an hour. So as our women now have made their way into the channel, Pamela Oliveira from Brazil is now taking charge.
Yeah, and this is, as you said, the women have just made it into the channel here. Julie Lemel in there, I think, in the silver cap. Orange cap, I think that would be Pole. And we have Curran there in the pink, and I didn't quite see who was behind that, but I think that's the top 4 right now, and no surprises with Oliviera leading the women's race.
Yeah, exactly, and one of the race favourites, Maya Stage Nielsen, you can see there on the right-hand side of the screen, just trying to sneak into the shot there right now. Well, we got our race underway here, the 2024 IRONMAN 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée in France, and we're off to a great start. No little issues out there at the moment for our men, none for our women. We're going to run off to a break. More action from the swim after this.
And we're back with the women's race here. Again, Pamela Oliveira is leading the charge. She hit the once they hit the water, she pretty much made her move and set the pace at a very high rate very early on. So, but she's brought with her, from what it looks, at least 5 other women right now. And it's like in the men's, it's really hard to shake them once you get to this part of the course and in such flat, fast conditions.
Yeah, started the year this year in Pucón, Chile, which is a great race itself in January, Joe. I don't know if you've been down to that one, but it is iconic. And a lot of the athletes, day after the race, get to go and hike the 18,000 footer, which is a bit of work after a 70.3, but it is absolutely gorgeous. All right, she, on the 19th of May as well, like you said, she won the Ironman Brazil. It was a great time that she had 8 hours and 57 minutes, but led the swim with a 51.43, a good bike at a 4.47, ran a 3.13, so for the win. But winning in a home country in the Ironman gives you another set of confidence, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. The Brazilians love to win in Brazil, and yeah, you'd see a lot of like Ronaldo Colucci and those and other athletes that are from Brazil try and win that coveted Brazil title. So she added her name to that list earlier this year.
Okay, great. Let's break down Nicola's swim stroke here. Look at that left hand and the right hand. It looks like it's a flat entry, in those hands there. Is that an issue, or is it all under the water that we're talking about?
Yeah, it's really hard to know from this angle what he's actually doing, but I just love that he's not actually pausing out in front. He's really just getting that hand, really aggressive entry and grabbing water and then pulling it back. And really, for open water swimming, you can't do much more than that.
He's pretty much reaching for that water right out in front. So like you say, he's not wasting any time in the catch in the catch phase. So let's take a look at this, running through the transition there. The athletes will face this. Under the Roca banner they go. Up onto the dock there. We've got some of the big maxi yachts there, Joe.
Yeah, no, I've got a great capture here to get an idea of what the athletes will encounter very, very shortly. So as we finish the Roca swim, and then we're coming into the Roca finish arch and up the ramp here into T1.
This is going to be a nice little challenge for the athletes getting out of the water, because it is a little bit longer run. Then they've got the ramp as they go up. They'll grab a little bit of a snack or two, get some water in there as they make their way through the bags. Grab their bag, make the change, head down into transition. This is T1. They will grab their bikes, but they will strap their helmets on before they take the bike from the rack and then head out to the mountain line, and then they are off onto the 56 miles or the 90-kilometre bike course here. 600 metres of elevation out there today, Joe. It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, don't forget about that 600 metres of elevation, nearly 2,000 foot of elevation gain. That's not something to discount. And I think we'll see the stronger riders really capitalise on that. So the guys like Cam Worth, Clement Magnon, very strong on the hills. So watch for those to make a move on the bike course today.
I wanted to ask you that question. You were a strong cyclist in your career as well. You'd come out just with a little bit of a deficit out of the swim, but a little bit like I put you in the same sort of realm as Cam Worth, right? So you get it out around about 45 seconds, maybe minute and a half down out of the swim. But the tactics that you have to employ, is it that you're riding at your own power, at your own pace, or are you just trying to catch up to the group and get in contact?
I raced most of my career without a power meter. I used to go until I catch up, and whatever that meant, bleeding out of the eyes. That would be. I'd want to get back to the front, because that's where you get that surge of energy and adrenaline, and you want to be in the mix. You don't want to be chasing all day. So I used to try and bridge it a little bit too quick, probably, but sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't.
Beautiful marina at Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. We can see that Nicolas Canet from South Africa is our swim leader. He is leading a great group of swimmers at the moment. We know that Gustav Eden is in there. We know that Cam Worth is on the tail end of this group, and Canet now is just putting the hammer down. Now the beat of the kick there, Joe, you start out at a 6-beat kick in the very first part of it. You reduce it down to 4, and then it comes down to a 2-beat crossover kick. Now you can see that the legs are moving at about a 4-beat kick here. He's got his shoulders up out of the water. He's got 15 metres to swim before he heads out. What's going through the arms and the legs of this young man right now?
Yeah, he's really put on the afterburners here to really, and he's managed to get a bit of a gap on the other athletes. He's just bringing a bit of blood flow into his legs, so when he stands up on the pier very, very shortly, he'll be able to run and get going without too much lag there. So here we go, Nicolas Canet. This is his third time he's led out of a 70.3, men's leader in the Roca swim course from South Africa. What an amazing swim by Nicolas Canet.
Yep, Nicholas Canet first out of the water today, and then we've got a fast finishing group of athletes there. You can see running up onto the dock right now. The wooden dock is around about 150 metres long. Then they'll make that left-hand turn. Let's go over to the Wahoo Element Rival. The swim time today, 20 minutes and 2 seconds, Joe. 1.2 miles, 1.9 kilometres. How fast was that?
That's ridiculous. And yeah, obviously not much of a current to speak of, Welshie. When you're swimming nearly under 20 minutes, these guys are just getting faster and faster and faster. You can see he basically attacked that from the gun and was not holding back.
Well, you know it. He's a great swimmer.
Amazing swim. Look, this guy led out Chattanooga by himself. He led out at Boulder 70.3. He dropped the likes of Sam Appleton, who's one of the best swimmers in the sport. This guy can swim, and he's not waiting for anyone. Even the reigning world champion Rico Bogan was no match for his swim today.
Not at all. Nicholas Canet leads out 20:02. 20:10 goes over to Johannes Vogel from Germany. Rico Bogan from Germany in third place at 20:11. Then it was Andreas Salversberg. There they go into the transition area. Off goes the wetsuits. Then they will put their numbers on. Their bike shoes and the helmets will go on as well. They'll put their wetsuits back in the bag, and that is the rule. There is Gustav Eden just coming out of the water right now. Then it was Marta Ceccarelli from Italy. Paul Schuster up there in the swim. William Evan from France was right there, and one of our favourites, Yuri Kulin of the Netherlands.
Yeah, separating the first 10 was only 25 seconds, Welshie, so that was a very elite group of swimmers there, but not that far behind were the next group, and that did have the likes of Clement Mignon and Gustav Eden we saw there. And Gustav, we know he can ride a bike. So look, with such a fast swim, the gaps are always going to be a little less, and this is shaping up for a very exciting bike ride.
Very much so. As we see Canet now getting to the bike first, he's in a real big hurry because he wants to get a little bit of a lead out there. You can see the number just flapping around there, but at least he's got it on there, and we can see him running toward that transition area. Now, Joe, this is a really long transition area. How much energy is going out here, and do you have to, sort of crank it back a little bit and save it toward the end of the day, or is Nicholas just giving it everything to establish a big lead?
Look, you just got to hold a little bit back. Whatever you do, you got to keep it relaxed. It's a chance to sort of take a few deep breaths. But really, if you've gassed yourself on the swim, it's really hard to actually run that far. So obviously, he was still holding a little bit back because he looks fantastic running through transition there. And it was, as you said, a very long run. So here he jumped very nicely onto the bike, gets his feet. He's already got the rubber bands there. They're about to snap as he turns the pedal.
Starting off in a big gear.
Yeah.
Very surprising.
Well,
I thought he would have started off. He's a big lad, but would have started off in a little gear there to get that spin happening a little bit quicker and get up to speed. But he put on a couple of seconds to Johannes Vogel. There was about 11 seconds there in transition there, Joe. And then Yuri Kulin, he's had the best transition there. He's now in third place. Rico Bogan lost a spot, and there's Ceccarelli. So what a great transition by Yuri Kulin.
Yeah, he maybe used his running prowess there to really put himself into a good position as you jump on the bike. Because you've got 10 guys, it's nice to actually get on the bike at the front of that pack so you don't get caught up in all this, which we're seeing on screen right now. It's just an accident waiting to happen sometimes when you got 9 guys all trying to get on the bike at the same time. So Yuri Kulin pushed it a little bit through transition, positioned him well, and now he's in a great position to try and bridge that gap up to Nicholas Canet.
So this is a good little stat for you. Going out in first place obviously was Canet from South Africa, but Joe, Clement Mignon was 27 seconds out of the water, and then he's now 42. So he has lost 15 seconds in transition. So let's go across to the top 3 fastest transition times brought to you by Morton today. Yuri Kulin, 2:48, Canet, 2:50, and there was Gerber at 2:50 as well.
Yeah, that as you said, there's a very long transition, but very, very fast by the speedy Yuri Kulin there, who managed to get himself into a great position as they start on the full gas bike course. And here we are back with the women's. Not much has changed since we last saw them, Welshie.
No, zero change there, Joe. And you can see that Pamela Oliveira looking very, very nice. She's in a really good rhythm there. Maya Stage Nielsen sitting in 4th place. Nothing has changed at all on the women's side.
No, and here we go. The trailing men are now coming down to mount the bike, making sure they go past their mount line right there where the officials are standing, and they're quickly onto their bike, some doing it better than others. And here we go, quite a technical exit from transition. They've got to make a left-hand turn, and then it straightens up pretty quickly. So they need to be careful here that they're not encroaching on the other athlete's space. But as soon as we get open roads, they'll space out nicely.
Nicholas Mann was in 11th, one of your favourites today. There was Paul Schuster going out in 12th, and Matthias Peterson having one of his first pro races out here today in 14th, and then Gustav Eden was down there in 18th. George Goodwin was down there in 20th place, so no sign of Cam Worth inside of the top 20 thus far.
Yeah, and Cam would be disappointed with that, I think. This is actually his only third 70.3. He's done numerous Ironman events, but he said actually in a post earlier this week that he struggled to make sort of hit it right at the 70.3 distance. But Ironman obviously is very, very successful, but he's hoping for a better day. As we see the women exit the swim here today on the Roca swim course. So here we are in the pearly pink. That was
Pamela Oliveira getting out of the water there first, and 2 seconds in arrears was Luisa Logna-Pratt from Italy, and then you got Caroline Pohl from Germany, Kate Curran from the UK, Julie Lamolo from France, all separated by 8 seconds.
Yeah, there wasn't much in it there, but Pamela Oliveira was the leader there in the women's race today at the Roca swim course. But here we are, the women, here we go, looking at the Wahoo Element swim split, 22.04 for the 1.2 or 1.9 kilometre swim, and that was by Pamela Oliveira. So amazing swim speed, 2 minutes slower than the men's, which is nothing at all. So obviously an amazing swim here today from our female athletes.
Yep, 2 minutes and 2 seconds as they hit that long transition run right now.
Yeah, no, this is a very long transition, and they have to, and this little ramp up to the red carpet area where they will grab their gear bags and then quickly strip their wetsuits down and put on their helmet, shoe and sunglasses, and then make their way to their bikes. I would say as a guess that all these women will have their bike shoes already attached to their bikes, so all they're looking for here is get the wetsuit in the bag, helmet on and sunglasses on. Some of them even have a visor on their helmets. So.
Is that TTL on the back there? Talk to you later.
It might be. I'm not really sure. I think it's this triathlon life.
I love that.
There's a free plug, but
I know. There goes Pamela Oliveira right now from Brazil, just heading out to the bike ride right now. 22.04 on the swim.
Yeah, no, an amazing swim there. She looked back just to make sure she hadn't forgotten anything, but she's quickly making her way to her bike, where she'll quickly get to the mount line, where she'll then get out onto the full gas bike course. The other women have her in sight. A bit of a gap now. There seems to be a gap from that 4th or 5th place, and we'll get back to you on who that is. But we can see over the fence there some of the females that lost a little bit of time, but within about 30 seconds, I think, where the gap was at last check. So here we go. We've got still with Pamela, the Brazilian Pamela Oliveira, making a way to get her bike from her rack here. So just to recap the top 10, so Pamela Oliveira, we have Pratt, we have Pohl, Curran, Lamello, Pierre, 30 seconds back from Oliveira. We've got Kluger coming out with Pierre, and Madsen down at 1:07 from our leader, Pamela Oliveira. And further back, another 20 seconds back, we've got Maya Stage Nelson. So watch for her. She's in great form and a very, very strong bike and runner. So definitely keep an eye out for her. So here we go.
Oliveira being overtaken there on the very first part of the bike ride. And you can see that the big change there for me is going to be Laura Madsen there, Joe. She's very, very young, the youngest in the field today. She's only 1:07 down. But Maya Stage Nelson, I thought that she would have been a little bit closer than that, but she's got a bit of room to make up. But look out for that young Laura Madsen from Denmark.
Yeah, definitely watch, especially through the hilly part. She'll really do well over that hilly section of the full gas bike course. That's Caroline Pohl from Germany, who made quick work on getting onto her bike. bike. Here we see her putting her shoes on, and here we
Marjolaine Joly.
Yes.
From France, just hopping onto the bike right now. There we go. Nice little clean transition there. Just hopping. Whoa, actually came off there a little bit, so not so clean. Has put the foot down there to get going again. It's a little bit tricky now, Joe. Explain why the athletes have their shoes on their bike instead of just running out with their shoes on already.
Well, one, it's hard to run with cleats on the bottom of your shoes, but also you can actually put them on while you're actually making forward progress on the course. So you can get the bike up to a decent amount of speed, whatever you're comfortable with, maybe 25, 30 kilometres an hour. And then you can actually, on a straight, smooth bit of road, you can put it on. So here we go with the Morton top 3 transition times. We've got Kruger in 3:03, we've got Pole 3:07, and Curran 3:10. So not much separating those top 3 times as we look here with Marjolaine Pierre starting out on the full gas bike course.
You know, Marjolaine lost quite a bit of time there in that transition, getting up to speed there. I was very surprised, but anyway, let's get back to the leader of the race here. This looks like Yuri Kulin, if I stand corrected. He is a very beautiful bike rider, and look at this. He's just got so much power that he's putting through the bike at the moment, but look at the urgency on Yuri right now as he now makes his way past Nicholas Canet. So Yuri hasn't raced since Singapore, April, and that was a great victory for him down there. He was actually quite ill after that race, but he doesn't seem to have wasted any time getting back to the front of the race course in his first race back.
No, he's made, that 19 seconds gap. He's really blown by leader very, very quickly, and he looked like he's on a charge. And this guy, to note, is probably the strongest runner out there. With Gustav Eden not at full health right now, this guy is probably our fastest runner. So for him to put on this much pressure this early, he's obviously feeling pretty good today on the bike.
Yeah, I like the idea of someone like Rico Bogan as well. Rico, he's so young. He doesn't have the experience of a lot of the other guys out there, but he's very mature for his age. He's a world champion at 22 years of age from Germany. So let's see how it unfolds here at Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. This is the full gas bike ride. We'll be right back. The action continues here in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. This is the west coast of France. It's also the 10th stop in the Ironman Pro Series in 2024, where all the athletes here are vying for $1.7 million in bonus money coming up at the end of the season. It is a 20-race season, and it'll all come to a grinding halt at around about December 15, Joe, as they finish up the Ironman 70.3 World Championship in Lake Taupo in New Zealand.
Yeah, and prior to that, they're racing in Australia, our home country, in Western Australia, in Busselton, over the 70.3 distance. So plenty of racing, but yes, as you said, we're halfway through the season. This is the 7th 70.3 of the year and the 3rd one in Europe. So these guys are laying it all out there. And as we talked about before we went to the break, this is the last chance for Yuri Kluwen to get his world slot. So a bit of extra pressure for him.
Yeah, Yuri Kluwen, the Dutch athlete here, had a good race in Singapore, a non-finish there in Mallorca. So today is his last chance to punch the ticket there and qualify for this year's World Championship. Having a look at the back of the women's field right now, Pamela Oliveira has been right back here for the longest time, and good for her. She has a very good strategy happening because it's going to take a super run today to get the job done. Let's recap the top 5 in our men's race here at the Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. In 5th place is Nicholas Mahn from Germany. Also from Germany is Rico Bogan at 4 seconds. Yuri Kulin from the Netherlands, one of our favourites, is sitting at 2 seconds. There is Gerber from France is sitting in 2nd, and also from France is Clément Mignon, the leader in the men's race. So the leader in the men's, the leader in the women's, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, they've obviously done their homework on this course and have come here in tip-top shape and ready to race. So no, it's really good to see. Clément really, for my mind, is more of an Ironman racer, but really showing his biking prowess on this course and really driving it. When you got the likes of Yuri Kluwen, Bogan, Mann, Vogel, Salversberg, and they haven't been able to see the front.
Yeah, well, watch out for a very, very fast start on the run course here today. You know it's going to be electric, and these athletes right now just have not been able to shake one another out there. And we can see that 8 athletes are in the lead group, and then 9 and 10 is Bendix Madsen from Denmark. And there's Svenningsen. Rasmus Svenningsen has now hit the top 10 for the very first time today and taken 20 seconds out of our leaders over the last 15 kilometres. Rasmus now is sitting at 2 minutes, and Cam Worth right in there as well in 11th place out here today. So it's really heating up, but they really haven't made that much of a dent on our leaders out there, Joe. I'm a little bit surprised.
Yeah, I am as well, but they have pulled back some time, and that was it from the 72 kilometre mark. So in the last 18 kilometres, they may pull back seconds, but they're still not going to put themselves back in this race. And these athletes really rely on that bike to really set their race up. So, yeah, they're really going to not be in the race once they put the run shoes on. So unfortunately,
definitely out of contention if you ask me, Joe.
Yeah.
For that, I think that you'd be looking at, people like Yuri Kulin right now, Rico Bogan. Rico is in such great form at the moment. We know that he can run well. Nicholas Mann's about a 112, 111 guy on average. He can run a solid race as well out of Germany. But watch out for the 22-year-old German Rico Bogan to get off to a good start. He's so tall, just like Jan Frodeno when he lopes along. It doesn't even look like there's much effort going out there. Sort of almost like watching Magnus Dietleff run. His stride is just so long. It's just pretty to watch. All right, just before we turn our focus back on the men's as they're about to hop off the bike and head out onto the Hoka run course, let's get you caught up to speed here. Marjolaine just getting overtaken right now by Majestige Nielsen from Denmark is our leader there at 72 kilometres. And then it was Laura Madsen. Charlene Clavel is sitting right in there. Caroline Pohl, and then there's Nikki Bartlett. Nikki Bartlett's made her way up to the front, but a little bit of an incident here. We did talk about a little bit ago, a little bit of rain just coming down. Precipitation is going to make the roads nice and wet, a little bit greasy, a little bit slippery. So safety there, Joe, is going to be the name of the game here over the last the closing section, especially when you're closing so fast on the flat roads.
Yeah, Nathan Guber, the French athletes, obviously it's come off second best there on that slight turn. But yeah, looks like there might be a little bit of rain, which that's the worst. When there's a little bit of rain on a fast surface, you just take it a little bit too fast. You're down before you know it. So hopefully not a major injury, and maybe he can continue, but or at the very least not sustain anything that's going to affect any future races.
Yep, Gerber goes down on the corner there. Just a replay here right now of Majestige Nielsen just going past Marjolaine Joly just a moment ago. They are now approaching the 75 kilometre marker, but let's get you caught up to speed on the women as they did go through 72 kilometres. We did get through Marjolaine Pierre. Then it was Laura Madsen, Charlene Clavel. Caroline Pohl was right in there in fourth. There was Majestige Nielsen at that point in time. She is the leader now. Nikki Bartlett, just before we saw Nathan go down there. Nikki Bartlett's made up a lot of time there, Joe, and now just 7 seconds down. Emily Mourier is in 7th place at 8 seconds, and now we're just seeing Pamela Oliveira slipping off the back at 33 seconds. So she's lost 23 seconds on the group right now. So the pace in our women's race has really heated up on the descent now. They've only got a couple of more kilometres to use this descent before the flat roads and the fast run into T2. This is Nathan Gebert from France, and he's just had a little bit of an incident out there. And just to get you caught up to speed here, he's now riding in a little bit of no man's land and back into the race. So it's great to see him, Joe, back up on the bike.
Yeah, it's such a shame for this to happen so close to the finish as well. He's we're minutes away from the men coming into T2. So yeah, I guess if it was further out, maybe he wouldn't have got back on his bike, but he knows it's only probably about 5 minutes of riding to get back. So full credit to him. It will be a very easy option to call it a day, but he's back out there and riding, and hopefully is in well enough shape to start the run today.
Over the cobbles they go. They're back down, heading toward the Grand Plage here at Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. And this is Rico Bogan, the 22-year-old. Look how smart this young man is. Mature beyond his years. He gets to the front, undoes the shoe on the left side, undoes the shoe on the right side. Up on top of the shoe it goes. There is the foot. He's already got his socks on. He's got his compression wear on. He's ready for the run. And now entering into the transition area, number 2 in first place is the young 22-year-old German and the current IRONMAN 70.3 world champion, Nico Bogan.
Yeah, made that look very, very professional, very effortless. Came to the front at the right time. He's already got his socks on, so look for a really fast transition here from Rico. And maybe, this point in the race, it can be decisive, the fact that he doesn't have to put socks on, and maybe the other athletes do. You get 5, you get 10, you get 15 seconds. It can be really important. So looking at the Wahoo Element Bolt, the time split for Rico Bogan, 2 hours, 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So a little over about 44 kilometres an hour average from my calculations. Yeah, it was a great ride out there by Rico, but also the other 6 or 7 athletes that are going to be coming into the transition area here all together. So the young German has had a great day thus far, and look for him to dominate the run as well. I look to see Yuri Kulin, giving him a little bit of a push on the run in the early parts as well. So let's recap the bike for you. It was a 2:03.18 from Rico Bogan. Yuri Kulin second off the bike at 6 seconds down. Mignon in third at 8 seconds. Also Nicholas Mann. There was Andre Salversberg from Switzerland. He was right in there. Nick Emdy from Germany, and also from Germany rounding out the top 7 at 14 seconds down. Johannes Vogel having a good day. Now the 8th place, if you're wondering about Nathan Gebur from France, he had a little bit of an accident coming around one of the roundabouts just inside of the last 3 kilometres and just slipped out. He's back up on his bike. He's riding toward transition area, and he's not too far away. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see if he does get swallowed up by the likes of Worth and Rasmus Svenningsson, who was they were a bit under 2 minutes down at last check. So it wouldn't be surprised me if they actually all roll in together around 1:45, something like that.
Don't mind me, gentlemen. Just shove across to the side so I can sit down and put my shoes on as well.
I know. Look, Rico, 6 seconds gap as he jumped off his bike and not putting socks on. That can be 6 seconds there, 6 seconds there. All of a sudden, you're close to 80 metres in front, and all of a sudden, hang on, it's a mental break for the other athletes that they're like, oh, he's too far in front. I can't bridge that back up, and especially when you're carrying the World Championship title, it commands a little bit of respect. So yeah, very tactical decision there by Rico Bogan there to put the pressure on.
Yep, the Morton transition times right here, top 3 fastest. Nicholas Mann was a 1:59, Salversberg at a 2:02, and Rico Bogan we knew was going to be fast, but he was in 3rd place. But look at that one from Nicholas Mann. Here comes Gustav Eden just getting off the bike as well, and also Anna Guillot from France is just running by our 2022 Ironman world champion there, Gustav Eden, as he makes his way into the transition area. So as we get you caught up to speed on just getting off the bike today. Let's go for it. Arnaud Guillot was 11th. There's Matthew Collins from the UK in 12. There was Madsen in 13. George Goodwin was right in there as well. So that's how it stood getting off the bike today. So Cam Worth moved into the top 10 by claiming that 9th spot with a 2:03.36. So just about the same time as the rest of the group here today, but he was 2 and a bit minutes down leaving on the bike.
Yeah, no, look, over the 70.3 distance, you just cannot give up anything. Like Cam Worth, Tour de France caliber rider, and can only match what these guys did up the front today. So it goes to show how well these guys up at the front were riding. And this man here, Rico Bogan, the current world 70.3 champion at the age of 22, really putting the pressure on from the very first kilometre here on the run.
Yeah, he's off to a pretty quick start there, Joe. He's 3 seconds in front of Nicholas Mann, but Salversberg at 7, MD at 20, so they put a lot of time in the transition. Clement Mignon was right up there, third off the bike at 24 seconds. Now Yuri Kulin at 31, Johannes Vogel at 34, and then Nathan Gerber, unfortunately, with that little accident coming in the last 3 kilometres of the bike today. He sits in 8th place, but he is inside of the top 10, just one spot in front of Cam Worth, and then also Gustav Eden coming in off the bike in 10th. So Rico Bogen, the young German, just getting after it inside of the first kilometre right now. Looking pretty good. He's got a really nice long stride. He stands about 6'3" tall, so he's a very tall athlete, long stride, and we know that Nicholas Mann, as you know, Joe, one of your tips today, one of your tops today to get on the podium, Nicholas Mann, he's an average of about a 1:11, 1:12 half marathon runner too.
Yeah, look, both these guys haven't raced that much over the 70.3 distance, and they probably haven't raced each other that many times. So this is really looking like a great race. The two Germans going to push each other all the way. But yeah, Nicholas Mann here looking pretty comfortable. So yeah, we'll see, and then we've got this is I think Salzburg or Nicholas Emdy. I'm not sure at this point, but
yeah. So our top 3 in the men are right out there on the run course here in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. We are on the west coast of France. This is the Ironman 70.3. Last chance to get yourself qualified for the Ironman 70.3 VinFast World Championship coming up on December 14 and December 15 in New Zealand. Rico Bogen, the 22-year-old 2023 Ironman 70.3 world champion, continues to lead here in the early part of the run. He had the third fastest Morton transition time here today in T2 from the bike to the run, and now accelerating away from the competition. Nicholas Mann from Germany sits in second place. He also had a great transition today. Salzburg and MD are in third and fourth, and Clément Mignon, the first of the French boys, is in 5th place, and he is sitting now down at 24 seconds, Joe. Got a race on our hands. We're in the early part of the run course here, the last discipline here. How does Rico look?
He looking better and better. Yeah, he looks absolutely amazing getting off the bike, but I think he's really starting to find that stride. Very long stride at 191 centimetres, I think. But let's not forget about Nicholas Mann here on screen, who looks super smooth, very, very comfortable, and isn't really losing much time right now. So very early days, but both of these guys are looking fantastic.
Also, Yuri Kulin going for that qualifying slot into the VinFast Ironman World Championship coming up in Lake Taupo in New Zealand here in December of 2024. Right down in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée, and we can now see the athlete from the Netherlands. This is Yuri Kulin. He is trying to get after a top 4 finish today. He really wants to punch his ticket for that 70.3 World Championship, Joe. Last year being in 6th place, we know that Yuri can, be on the podium at that World Championship. But look at this part of the run course, Joe. It's my favourite part when they got to go across the beach. Not easy.
No.
Up the steps.
Yeah, absolutely exhausted. That's so difficult. And look, those guys still look like they were moving very, very nicely across the sand, but that is not easy what they just did. But straight back into it, back on shot with Nicholas Mann. Still looking very, very comfortable. Very, very smooth. Very nice runner. Yeah, looks like he's got the Morton gels up there in the hands too, so he's got his nutrition strapped on board. Getting after Rico Bogen at the moment. Rico ran a really nice first 2K, and across that beach, really nice. I mean, when you're running across the sand like that, Joe, it's very important to shorten up the stride, drop your chin, bring your arm carriage into it a little bit more as well, and that should help you, get across it a little bit more efficiently. All right, the rain's starting to just come down mildly at the moment. We saw that on the bike course, just getting a little bit greasy toward the end of it, going through the aid station right now. There goes Nicholas, getting into one of those Morton gels right now and making sure that it's constant calories going down into the belly there, making sure that your nutrition is really, really good, because that is going to give you the best possible opportunity to have a good race today. And Joe, when it's a little bit cooler and, not so much wind and whatever, you don't feel like eating or drinking as much, but that's a mistake. It is, yeah, absolutely. You need to have a plan and stick to it. And look, it's actually when it is cold, you actually need to take on it a little bit more because your body sort of uses that energy to keep itself warm as well. I don't think the conditions today don't warrant extra calories for that reason, but no, you want to make sure that you stay on that nutrition the whole way. And even if you're feeling good, it's if you skip a gel, you might regret that later. So just work out how many calories you need and stick to the plan.
Yeah, stick to the plan. This area is something else. This is the west coast of France. You can see the Bay of Biscay. That is the Atlantic Ocean out there at the moment. We just had a beautiful overhead shot of the Vendée region here, sitting a little bit north of Bordeaux, a little bit south of Caen and Normandy, and on the west coast here. So absolutely gorgeous. Lots of sailing happening. There we see the canal. There's the plage on the left-hand side, the two big buildings there. That was the site of the swim start this morning. They went out about 250 metres. They made two right-hand turns, came back down the canal and out into T1. This is Laura Madsen that we're getting shots of right now. Our ladies, our female athletes here in the Ironman Pro Series are now coming to a close of the bike ride. Laura Madsen, the young 21-year-old Dane, is really showing the other ladies what she's got in those legs today. Will she get out there and have a good run? Will Maya Stage-Nielsen be able to challenge? Or will Marjolaine Pierre from France have the day of her life here today and take the victory? Or will the defending champion, Clavel, get back after it?
Yeah, time will tell. Will she? I wouldn't want to pick any of these women right now for the podium. They all look fantastic. It's amazing that they've all stayed together on the bike, and it's been a very intense bike ride from the onset. So, yeah, we'll soon figure out who's nailed their nutrition, nailed their pacing, who's overextended themselves, who's been within themselves when they finally get to that T2 and head out onto the Hoka run course. Yeah,
back to the lead of the race right now. This is Rico Bogan just going through his steps here on the run course. It's a beautiful course out here today, the Hoka run course. 21 kilometres in length or 13 miles. It is 2 laps. It's a flat course, but you know, this year the athletes will only complete 2 laps, and to reach the 21 kilometres, the distance here in the Hoka run course, competitors will run on the promenade along the Tunchet Lake and cross the finish line in the centre of town. So they'll run 200 metres on the beach that we saw just a moment ago. Well, the action continues on the other side of the break. You're watching the IRONMAN 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée.
Yeah, here she comes through the tunnel here. She's not far away now from making that final turn to hit T2. Volunteers doing a great job out there, giving her a cheer as she rides by. But here we go. She's not very far from the mountain line, but she'll be very closely followed by another about 8 women as the last check. So it's she's not going to have it all her own way right now as she heads over the bridge here into T2.
Yeah, it took the feet out of the shoes there a little early on, you know, in my book. I think that she should have, you know, kept them in there and kept the pace up right up until about this bridge. You know, on the last flat section, reach down, take the feet out of the shoes at that point in time. So I think she went about 500 metres too early on that part, Joe, but I think you would agree with that.
Yeah, no, and that's just doing your due diligence on the bike course, and maybe she just misread it a little bit. I don't think it's cost her much, but it did maybe lose the opportunity of actually getting more of a gap than she's going to have, which is only going to be a couple of seconds at this point. So
must
here
be
we go.
Someone behind me.
Yeah,
I saw that
red light. Once they're off their bike in transition, they can't get a penalty. From what I understand. So.
Yeah, that was Charlene Clavel, the defending champion, getting off the bike in second place there, and then also Maya Stage-Nielsen in third. Kaidi Kivioa from Estonia has had a great bike ride today at 2:17.18, one of the fastest of the day. Caroline Pohl at a 2:18.56, lost a little bit of time on the bike. And there's Marjolaine Pierre. What a great ride she had, 2:18.26. Emily Mourier's in there at 20 seconds down. Nikki Bartlett hung in there, and Kate Curran as well. The Wahoo Element Bolt says 2 hours, 17 minutes and 39 seconds for Laura Madsen from Denmark today with the fastest bike split thus far.
Yeah, what a great bike split. I think that's faster than what they predicted it at halfway through. So I think they've, as we said numerous times, the women have really put on a show today on the bike, and it really did start to separate out in those last few kilometres. I think there's some tired legs out there. I think they really put it all on the line, and it will be interesting to see how the run goes here. But right now, Madsen Madsen looks the goods, and is moving quite nicely through this very long transition to get to run shoes and get out onto the Hoka run course.
Yep, shuffling their way down to the transition area here, grabbing their bags, and you can see that Madsen is first. Second place is Charlene Clavel at this point in time. There, here comes Maya Stage Nielsen. Maya had the fastest ride up until this stage right now. It may have been Laura off the bike first, but Maya has a 2:17.11 with an average pace of 42 kilometres an hour today. So well done to our lead 8 women out there. Nikki Bartlett had a 2:17.14. There was Kate Curran coming in 24 seconds down. So 9 ladies separated by 24 seconds, Joe. That's amazing.
It is really. I don't think I've ever seen a 70.3 that closely contested on the bike. So yeah, full credit to these ladies. They've done an amazing job out there. It's a bit congested. They're probably not used to it either. There's no room to sit down. But as we see, Madsen and Clavel.
It's almost like a shoulder charge.
Yeah. So Clavel, obviously the defending champion. That's got to give you a little bit more motivation to try and defend your title. What do you think, Welshie?
Yeah, I do believe so. You know, heading out first on the run as a defending champion. You're a defending champion for a reason, because the year before you were very fast. Today, by the look of it already, she's making a move on Laura Madsen, who doesn't quite have the experience as the other ladies, but she's so young. She has such a bright future in this sport here. Look how tall she is. She's around about 4 or 5 inches taller than our leader there. But look at that. She took her time. She got everything. And look, she's just really powering now. I'm really surprised that this is happening. I just think that this is wonderful. I'm really behind, you know, the 21-year-old and just getting after it as, you know, the defending champ Clavel is checking the watch there, getting a look at the Wahoo element as she heads out onto the course here today. So she's checking her heart rate and getting after it. All right, the Morton top 3 fastest transition times, Joe?
Yeah, we've got Pierre, 2 minutes and 10 seconds. We've got Paul at 2:16 and Clavel at 2:21. So pretty close, but yeah, pretty slippery through transition there, Welshie.
Yeah, they had to take their time. I noticed that, you know, Gustav Eden also slipped out, yeah, just a little bit coming around the corner. So, you know, the name of the game right now is it's greasy out there because it's only rained just a little bit, you know, on top of roads that, you know, been just, you know, standing there for quite some time without rain. So you know what happens, Joe, when it gets a little bit of rain for the first time, they do get slippery. So easy does it. Make sure that you keep your rubber side down and, you know, on the bike and the run. Yeah,
and these super shoes don't have the best grip on them, I'll tell you that. So you got to be really careful, especially hitting those white lines. I saw Bogan he nearly slipped out quite early on as well.
All right,
so you got to be careful.
Let's recap the top 5 in our women's race right now. IRONMAN 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. In 5th place was Maya Stage Nielsen with the fastest bike of the day. 13 seconds down from Marjolaine Pierre. There is Caroline Pohl in 3rd place from Germany. Laura Madsen from Denmark was right there with Charlene Clavel heading out onto the run. Check this out. This is actually really, really nice to watch. Emily Morier, she was one of the pushes on the bike today. And look at that. Love the forward lean there, Joe. Love the arm carriage. And look at that stride. Beautiful knee action. Yep. Hips are square to the target. And look at that flow. He's not spending much time on the ground there at all.
No, and it's going to show like she's starting to pick up some of these women. Looks very smooth. No wasted energy. You don't see much up and down movement. It's all going forward, which is what you want to do. So it looks like
Caroline Pohl. She's just about to overtake Caroline.
Emily Moreira is about to start moving up a few places, I think, in these next few kilometres. So looking fantastic there out on course.
Yeah, Caroline doesn't look too bad as well. It's just that Emily's stride a little bit longer, and I just love the way that she leans forward. And, you know, gravity always takes over, Joe. Don't know what you coach your athletes, but I love the forward lean, especially when you've got an undulating course and you bring the arm carriage into the fray of things as well. Now you can see that, you know, the turnover of, you know, these athletes like Kate Curran and the others just a little bit shy of the stride length of someone like Poirier, but look at this. Rico Bogan is now getting caught, just struggling a little bit at the halfway point of the run. This is Nicholas Mann now coming into the action. Boy, was he a ways down just a moment ago. What do you think happened here? Do you think that Rico's just slowing down, having a little bit of struggles with his nutrition, or do you think that Nicholas is really putting in the big work?
Yeah, it looked like he'd built up quite a lead on Man, but I don't know if something happened. We didn't see it off camera. Who knows? But yeah, right now we have a real battle here in the men's race. These two guys going shoulder to shoulder along the Esplanade, looking fantastic. So yeah, and here we go. He's just Nicholas Mann has just thrown us a very fast surge on Bogan, which at this early stage of the race could be be costly, but it's definitely shaping up to a very fast race. And look, these other guys are still in contention. Look, Bogan responds really, really nicely and moves back onto the shoulder of Nicholas Mann, who just dropped a sub 3 minute sort of surge, 3 minute pace surge onto Bogan to try and shake him. But Bogan, at the current world 70-point champion, was not going to back down, and he's gone with the pace, but maybe starting to pay for it right now.
Yeah, Nicholas looks like he's up on the toes there and really getting after it. There's Rico just, throwing and thrusting his body side by side and in the front direction as well. But Yuri Kulin was in third place at 32, so we've still got a great top four there. Johannes Vogel is at 37, and then Clement Mignon is still sitting at 52 seconds, so he's not out of it. There he goes the other way at the moment, so dropping back just a little bit. But look at Nicholas Mann, just threw down another surge. Look at the surge that he's putting in. He's going to try and break Rico here, but I don't know. Rico's a tough young guy, but that was a monster surge.
Yeah, I don't know what pace they were running right then, but it was definitely, they picked it up. It was very very easy to see. Big shift in pace. But Rico Bogan, look, I think he's hurting a little bit more, but look, this could come down to who wants it more at the end of this race. But
yeah, Rico's in fine form. He had a great race in San Francisco a couple of weeks ago, sprint finish there, and now he's finding himself on a different continent and still doing great. The 22-year-old, well, they travel pretty good, don't they? Those 22-year-olds, Joe. When you hit the 40s and the 50s, it all slows down just a little bit. But Rico just looking down at the watch there, making sure that everything's in check as we get back to our women's race right now, and looking at Kate Curran here just having a nice day. I love that running style as well. The arms there just not even hitting halfway across the body there, the middle there, the sternum. You draw the line down there, and that's where you think that a little bit of a little bit of, pressure can come down into the lower, part of the body with some friction as well. But Nikki Bartlett, on the other hand, look at that, up on the toes, really pushing hard, and look how far that stride is coming out.
Yeah, no, these women are really shifting along this causeway here along the water. Beautiful part of the course, but then they can also
look at Nikki catching up in her hokers too. Yes. She's got a Carbon X on. She's got really
these
taken it.
Women in her sight, and she can sense that she's starting to close the gap, and that's a really great feeling. At this point of the race, when maybe you haven't been able to go with the pace at the start, but then they start to come back to you and you're going faster and they're slowing down. That's Nikki Bartlett. Yeah, is on for a good race right now, and hopefully she just needs to. For me, I would take my time catching up. I wouldn't try and close the gap too quickly. She's obviously running faster than these two women in front, but yeah, don't want to close too quickly, I think. Just keep your rhythm. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree with you. Getting off the bike today, Nikki was right up there in the lead there. She was 22 seconds off the bike. But when she ran out, she had lost, just a little bit of time there. And she was 43 seconds there. So, she's made her way back up. She's only about 6-7 seconds down right now. So she's running about 2 to 3 seconds a kilometre faster than our leaders at this point in time. So Nikki Bartlett is definitely on the chase here, and it's no doubt about it that she will be catching up here pretty soon. But look at the Hoka shoes there. They are really accelerating Nikki toward the front of the competition as Rico, tough as nails, comes back at Nicholas Mann another time. Nicholas moves up onto the right-hand side of Rico. They are going back and forth. They are having a match race out here. The two Germans are locked in battle right here in France, and what a great race they're treating us to right now. Here comes Nikki Bartlett, just like you said, Joe, just a little bit at a time, chipping away at our leaders. You can see that Laura Madsen, she's been doing a lot of the pace setting there. Charlene Clavel, the defending champion, has just selected to, let Laura make the pace setting here. Let's see what happens when Nikki Bartlett catches up. Let's see what happens. Is there going to be a surge, or do you think that Nikki will just keep the same consistency about it and let the other two react?
I think it's pretty hard not to maybe surge a little bit. What will be interesting is which one of these women, which I think only one of them will be able to go with it. We don't know who's feeling better at the moment. Madsen looks pretty comfortable. But yeah, Nikki Bartlett's going to move on to them any time very, very soon. And we're going to see how they react very, very shortly.
Yeah, we're going to have a new leader in the space of the next 20 seconds here. And, down to 15 seconds it goes, coming down onto the 10 seconds. And then you will see a new leader here. Nikki Bartlett from the UK is absolutely chewing up the competition right now. So now Nicholas Mann has made his move here. Rico Bogan is in second place as we now get into the second part of the second loop here. The VinFast performance analysis on the run right now belongs to Nicholas Mann. At 3 hours and 22 minutes into it, he's running an average of 3 minutes and 17 seconds there, Joe. He's had to run that pace to shake the world champion.
Yeah, it's some fast running, Welshie, and especially if you take in consideration they had to run that section on the sand as well. They are moving. But Rico's finally been dropped by Mann. But look, I'm not going to give up on Bogan yet. I think he's still got a really good chance to maybe claw his way back if Nicholas Mann falters at all.
Nicholas is looking around, just trying to establish what happened, what he's got to do, as he moves his way through the rest of the field here, or rest of the distance. And he's made some pretty significant surges, which do take a lot out of you. So he's really fueling up well. I know that he's, got those gels in his hand. What a great idea that is. If it's in front of you, you'll see it. If you see it, you'll use it. So Rico Bogan now being overtaken by Nicholas Mann. Yuri Kulin's still sitting in third place, and he's still trying to get after that qualifying slot for the World Championship. Johannes Vogel is sitting in there nicely. Mignon is doing well. Salversberg is now going a little bit in the wrong direction. MD's still in seventh place. Guillaume, who raced in Ironman Asia Pacific Cairns just a few weeks ago, is sitting at 4 minutes down. There's Hoffman for the very first time coming into the top 10, and George Goodwin, he's having a good day at 4:16 down.
To drop the current world champion, that's very, very good form. So he's having an exceptional day right now. Out on course. Yeah,
when you look at someone like Jan Frodeno and I think of, Rico Bogan and they run very similar. When I look at Nicholas Mann, it's almost like looking at Patrick Langer. He's got a beautiful turnover. Patrick just got those legs that just like a locomotive. He's just bang, 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 bang. He's just so nice. He's so fluid. And his turnover, I think that, Patrick in the Ironman distance has the fastest turnover. And that's very important, like when you look at a runner, a good runner has great turnover. They're not spending too much time on the ground, and their form biomechanically, they are just absolutely brilliant. And that's what I see with Nicholas as well. I haven't seen him too much, racing. So this is very impressive racing by the two Germans.
No, I'm really, really impressed with Nicholas right now. And look, Bogan's going to have his work cut out if he's going to claw his way back up to him. But yeah, Nicholas on track for one of the best races of his career right now.
Yeah, so this is Morier just making her way through the field as well. She's sitting in the top 6 at this point in time here and doing a great race. I think that the women here are really showing us today what it's all about. On the bike, we had 9 ladies getting off the bike within, a minute of each, or actually 27 seconds of each other. This is Caroline Pohl. She was one of our early leaders out onto the run. She was still, she's still holding down good pace at the moment at 26 seconds down on our leader in 5th place. So our women's race is still very, very close.
Yeah, no, it really is. And Caroline Pohl here is really holding really good pace, because last time we saw her running, it looked like maybe Marielle was going to run up to her, but Nope, she's not having that right now. So she's staying really, really strong and sitting pretty comfortably in 5th place.
I think she could run this pace all day long. She looks very, very comfortable. As we see right back there, Morier from France is, trying to make her way up into it. They're all chasing Kate Curran because that's going to be for the minor placings, because Clavel and Laura Madsen still running very close to each other. But Nikki Bartlett is now leading our women's race, and what a great bike ride. She was very, very steady on the bike ride out there today. 43 seconds in arrears leaving transition, but she caught up, just chipping away a little bit at a time. A couple of seconds here, a couple of seconds there, and now finds a way to the front of the field here in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée as they make their way back into town. The ladies will have another lap. They're going to get over that sand one more time. The gentlemen, however, they are on their way back to the finish line. This is Kate Curran from the UK having a great race there, Joe. Today we did see the the VinFast performance analysis on the run come up here. That's Kate Curran, 3:32 into it and 3:48 per kilometre. That's great.
Yeah, that's well under 120 pace, Welshie, for the half marathon. And she looks super smooth. She looks like, speaking of someone that could hold that pace all day, Kate Curran looks like she could do this for a whole marathon. So looking really, really good right now. Really efficient, covering the ground nicely, no wasted energy. Looking really, really in good form, currently sitting in 4th place.
Gentlemen are fastly approaching the 16-kilometre marker. The ladies are just coming up on the 9-kilometre marker here, so just about to run on into town and do their U-turn at the Hoka turnaround arch before they head out onto their second lap. Kate Curran now making her way back into town here, sitting in 4th place right now, but she's not too far down on our leaders as well, Joe.
No, she's not far at all. And look, we're only a little bit more than a third of the way into the run right now. So, yeah, what we'll be looking for is that next time split in the women. This is through the 11.9 kilometres, and that's when maybe we'll see if Kate Curran still has a chance to run onto a top 3 finish today.
Yeah, so the cyclist up ahead represents the number 3 lady out on course. So you know that Charlene Clavel is right there in the bushes, just right ahead, around about 30 or 40 metres up ahead, maybe 50 metres even, that Kate Curran can actually see that. So let's take a listen to what the pace sounds like with those feet hitting the ground. Sounds like pitter-patter to me, and that's the noise that you want to hear in your brain when you start turning off, when things start to become tough, Joe. You sort of premeditate these things, in training, or even when you're sitting at home thinking about the race. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. Just get a good sound, good rhythm, in your head. You can't take music out there. You can't have those, sort of things happening out there. But Nikki Bartlett, you would have imagined that she would have cleared out by now, but this young 21-year-old, I tell you, look out for her. She is going to be a superstar down the road here in Ironman Triathlon, Ironman 70.3. And Charlene, the defending champion, not wanting to give an inch on these two ladies here. She is from France, and she is defending it.
Yeah, and look, Kate Curran, she's really close, and she's actually taken about 25 seconds out of the Clavel, who's currently sitting in 3rd at this point at the last check. So, look, yeah, Kate Curran's still in these before we even get to the halfway point of the run. But yeah, Nikki Bartlett, just compare and contrast the forms of Madsen and Nikki Bartlett. Very, very different. Nikki very like quite a high carriage at the back. Madsen more, very low, doesn't really get much lift out the back or the front, but they're both running neck and neck right now at this about halfway point of the women's 70.3 run.
6 ladies inside of 33 seconds. On the men's side of things, you're looking at Nicholas Mann getting the job done. It's 21 seconds out to Rico Bogan right now. Yuri Kulin is now fastly approaching Rico Bogan, so that might be, a podium switch there from 21 seconds and 37 seconds, our top 3. Then comes Clement Mignon at 4th place, and then 5th place, Johannes Vogel. They're the only ones within 1 minute and 10 seconds of our leader right now. So our men's race, you got 5 athletes within 1:10, and on the women's side of things, you got 6 athletes within 33 seconds.
Amazing.
How good's that?
This is fantastic racing, Welshie. The men's, it's really interesting to see that it really has dropped away at that top 5. There's really big gap starting to open up, and excuse me, obviously some of these guys were pushing a little bit too much on the bike, and they're sort of paying for it a little bit now on the run, but not this guy on screen. Nicholas Mann from Germany is leading the way and doesn't look to be slowing down one bit.
Things are just about to start getting very interesting. Nikki Bartlett is doing her very best to drop Laura Madsen, but it's not happening. The young Dane is hanging in there, doing the best that she possibly can, and today might be a breakthrough day for the young Dane.
Yeah, Liz, definitely. She's put herself in a great position to really strike. But yeah, Nikki Bartlett's probably used a lot of energy trying to catch up, and probably surprised that the young Dane was able to actually go with her. Or not surprised, because she knows how talented this 21-year-old from Denmark is. But they're coming through to around the halfway point now. Nikki Bartlett looks like she's straining a little bit, Madsen looking the goods right now. So, yeah, if you can just stay there and hang tough, who knows what the second lap of this course will hold.
Nicholas Mann took a long look over his shoulder just a moment, Joe, and there's no one. It was Marjolaine Pierre was the next person inside. She's in the women's pro race, and Rico Bogan is falling back. So Yuri Kulin now and Rico Bogan, that might be a good story to start following here once we get Nicholas Mann across that finish line, and Nicholas is going to rocket up the Ironman Pro Series rankings as well. Today he's going to get across that finish line. 2,500 points are going to go into his bank account. And then the clock will start ticking. Another look over the shoulder. He knows he's got it. Every second matters here, Joe.
Yeah,
Keep
it does.
It going.
Yeah, and even if Rico and Yuri, Rico's happy with second or third and Yuri just wants his slot, they still have to fight all the way to the line, because they don't know what points they might need to get into that top 10 at the end of this World Series in December, which the final being the World 70.3 Championships in Topor.
Turning around on the second lap of the run here on the Hoka Run course as we have our men's champions heading into the finish line. We've got our women's leaders heading outside for their second lap here on the Hoka Run course. There's Laura Madsen from Denmark. There's Nikki Bartlett from the UK. They've been locked in battle now for about 3 kilometres when Nikki actually got up into the lead.
So here he goes. He's starting to celebrate, starting to relax and enjoy this moment.
He's enjoying the moment for sure. He just went by Kaidi Kivio from Estonia in the women's race, sitting inside of the top 8 as well. But this day belongs to the German. He's had a wonderful day out there, great swim. He even had a good bike ride, situated himself nicely in that group there today, stayed well out of trouble, and on the run, just absolutely decimating the field here in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. And now he's going to take out the championship. This is the 10th race of the Ironman Pro Series, the 7th of the Ironman 70.3 races. We've had 3 of the Ironman distance, 7 on the 70.3, and this continues to be an incredible series here in 2024. Nicholas Mann had a great swim today, a good bike, but the run is really going to bring him home today. Another look over the shoulder there, and there he is, the elation. All of it comes out right now. This is the emotion of getting the job done today. One little turn into the finish chute he goes, and Joe, what a great finish.
Yeah, what an amazing finishing line they've got here, and he's really soaking up the atmosphere down at the finishing line. He's going to make this last turn and then finish down the home straight through the smoke and to his second 70.3 win of the year.
Nicholas Mann from Germany gets it done here in the Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée and takes the championship in 2024. There goes the time. 2,500 points go the way of the German right now, and now we start ticking down. Is it going to be Rico Bogan that gets into the finish line in second place today, or is it going to be Yuri Kulin? A 1:11.12 seconds to get the job done today. Average 3:23 on the kilometre today. That is the Wahoo Element Rival telling you 1:11.12 over the 13 miles, the 21.1 kilometres, and Yuri Kulin closes it out with a second place on the podium. A fast finishing Frenchman by the way of Clément Mignon is going to take the bronze medal, in the third place, a stellar finish by the man from Nice.
Wow, that got really exciting over those last few kilometres. Well, Yuri Kulin got his 70.3 spot, obviously becoming home in the second place behind Nicholas Mann. And look at the time, 35 seconds. That's 35 points, Welshie. And then Clement Mignon at 49 seconds back in third place. So what great racing. We're just waiting for Rico Bogan to finish now and see what the time gap is.
Yeah, the gaps today, not too much. 35 seconds for the win and then 49 seconds. And then Rico Bogan comes in across the line in fourth place today. Laura Madsen, the 21-year-old Danish athlete, she is getting it done today. 22 seconds to Nikki Bartlett. So now it's just stretching out a little bit by bit. It was 1 second just a moment ago. It was 21 seconds. Now it's 22. Kate Curran is making a charge at Nikki Bartlett. So it's the UK getting after the UK. Looks like our defending champion is just suffering a little bit at 126 down. Caroline Pole at 143. And look at that. Top six inside of 2.5 minutes of each other. This is great racing today. And getting the job done is a very consistent and a very efficient young Laura Madsen.
Yeah, very, very patient race, especially for a 21-year-old in her second professional season. Yeah, it really went out, controlled. She's had this sort of grimace on her face the whole time, but I think that's just how she runs. She's just toughing it out and just been really patient, and it's paying off. I'd love to see the splits and see if she actually even splitted this half marathon, because I think she'd be very, very close, and that's the way to execute a 70.3 run.
Wouldn't be at all surprised, and this is the replay of Madsen pulling away from Bartlett at the moment, and you can see that there was a little surge in there. You can see that Nikki just struggling with the length of the stride that she had a moment ago when she was just, throwing those arms and out in the front there. The legs were going right back, but look at that, a little bit of a surge by Laura. You see that the knee drive by Laura is nothing compared to the other athletes, but look how far that those legs are going out, the feet are going out at the back there. She does have a long stride, but it's not happening in the front part of it. But look where her hips are, right over where she's landing and then pushing it out the back there. So very consistent, very efficient, and love the way that she's just turbo dieseling her way through this race.
Yeah, and her turnover has not changed from the first kilometre, so that's really important to note that, she's just run out at a pace that she knows that she can hold, and, the other women are sort of fallen away from this very consistent pace she's been able to hold.
Yep, correct. And now she's, got the pace of a couple of age group athletes up the road there. They're in their first lap of the run there. You can see one of our age groupers just leading the way there. Laura moving out to the side, running around and just getting it done there. And she's got the bike up there leading the way around as well. So our age grouper just looking at the turnover of the legs there is I think I might hang here for a while.
Well, could be
into the slipstream he goes. Look at that.
Yeah, it could be. Sometimes, the women get mixed up with some of the age group men, and sometimes it's good. Sometimes they get in the way, but they're having a good time. I'm sure Laura Madsen right now, who's leading the race, doesn't mind one bit because she's having the race of her life.
There, Joe. I think he's worried about his sponsorship and TV time.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
All right, Kate Curran looking really good there. She's also got a nice pace running there, Joe. Lovely. She looked like that in the first lap as well. Maybe she's lost about a half an inch off a stride, but look at this. This is just absolutely perfect running. The biomechanics are just lovely. I mean, she does have a little bit of pronation, in the foot strike there, but I just love the turnover and how fast that is. Precision fuel and hydration performance stats on the run. Nikki Bartlett at a 4:06.34. That is a 3 minute and 50-second minute average on the run course today, Joe. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely, and taking into account the sand running, 2 laps of that, and the turns, and those very, very fast running. So it'd be interesting to see what they end up splitting for this full Hoka run course. I
like how Laura drops the chin as well, and keeps the chin down at the ground there, and making sure that that the biomechanics. I think the forward lean, I think the posture, that she has with that running style that she has is really, really good. There's not much stress, I don't think, on the lower back there at all. I think that just the way that she's running is, it's a very, very consistent way to run. Some may say it's a shuffle rather than a stride. I think it's halfway between each. She's a very tall athlete. So I think that, for her, and even Nikki Bartlett, she's a tall athlete, but they are two very contrasting styles.
Very, very, very different. But, she checks a lot of the boxes of a really good run form. And there's potential there to maybe unlock some more and at the age of 21, with her swim bike and obviously the ability to run a low 120, if not faster today, yeah, she's going to take the 70.3 world by storm in the next few years.
Inside of the last kilometre right now for our female side of things here, we got our Ironman Pro Series. The female pros are out here. Laura Madsen is wearing F11 today. Next race is probably going to be F1. Who knows? But she is going to be a big star here into the future. The young lady, a 21-year-old from Denmark, getting it done here in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée on the west coast of France as we now head into the AG1 area. Then we'll hit the Hoka area. Then we will hit the finish line. The red carpet awaits our champion inside of the last 800 metres right now. She goes and nothing has changed one little bit. The turnover is still brilliant.
Yeah, no, as you said, well, nothing's changed. She's still looking very, very smooth. Now she gets to use the energy of the crowd to able to bring her home, and yeah, she'll be able to actually enjoy this moment momentarily when she realises how close she is actually to the finishing line.
Getting very, very close right now through the Morton area she goes, and just soaking it up here right now with all the crowd there, just giving high fives as well with a big smile on her face. She knows this is special. She will remember this for the rest of her life. This is going to be one of those races we'll all look back and just say the 21-year-old has arrived on the world scene. We knew that she was a great bike rider. Now she's finishing it off with a great run. By the look of it, she may end up getting the fastest run of the day as well. We'll just have to wait and see where Kate Curran is at this point in time, but she's behind our leader right now. So definitely Laura's going to have it because they did get off the bike very, very close to one another. So there it is, Laura Madsen. She's closing in on the finish line, Joe.
Yeah, not far to go now, and she's starting to really relax. Her sunglasses on top of her head. She's high-fiving the crowd, so she's really enjoying this last moments of this 70.3 on the Hoka run course. And down the finishing chute she goes. She's going to make this final turn to the left and finishing down the chute to finish down to come away with her second victory over the 70.3 distance.
The emotion comes out of the day, and the 21-year-old is getting it done for the first of her Ironman Pro Series wins in her career. Her young career gets the job done at Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée, and that is Laura Madsen. The time ticks away, the points tick away. 2,491 it goes down. She has full maximum points today, 2,500. She'll rocket up the rankings today. That is absolutely for sure. But Nikki Bartlett, what a great run. She threw everything that she had at our winner today, Laura Madsen. Nikki came up just short, ran a very fast first lap of the Hoka run course today. But second place, it's going to have to be for the UK athlete, getting it done and taking great points as well. 2,460 points go by the way of Nikki Bartlett. And you would imagine there, Joe, Kate Curran will be next.
Yeah, and checking in here with the Wahoo Element rival, 1:19.31 run split for Laura Madsen. What an amazing run. That's her fastest ever run split. As we welcome in our third place finisher here, Kate Curran from the UK. What an amazing run, finishing third today.
Look how close this was, Joe. This was absolutely amazing. Nikki Bartlett goes 1:19.28. She goes 3 seconds faster than Laura Madsen. And rounding out our podium today, three very happy young ladies right there. Kate Curran goes 1:20.05. So it's only separated by about 34 seconds, their run splits today. That was one of the best races to commentate today because of the action that they gave us all day long with only 35 seconds with three athletes. That's fantastic.
That's an amazing race, Walshy. Yeah, no, it was an absolute pleasure to watch that unfold. And yeah, you couldn't pick it really until the very last moments of the race who was going to come away with that podium. At one point I thought Katie Curran might get back to Nikki Bartlett, but Nikki Bartlett actually picked it up in those closing kilometres. But Laura Madsen, amazing performance and such a mature race for a 21-year-old. So congratulations to her on her first Ironman Pro Series win.
What a great race that she put down here today in France. I mean, for the young Danish athlete, 21 years of age, she is going to be one that we will watch for a long time down the road here.
Yeah, and when you've got the likes of Nikki Bartlett, who runs up onto you early on in the run, she did not panic. She gathered herself and then actually was able to run away from Nikki towards the latter stages of the run. Very mature racing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, now it's time to go back and take a look at our men's recap today. So have a look at this. We all got started here in Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée early this morning, and it was a great start. They had about a 70-metre run into the Bay of Biscay. That is the Atlantic Ocean, 250 metres out to sea. They made a couple of right-hand turns back into the canal here. And, Joe, this was great swimming by Canet from South Africa.
Yeah, he really got out fast. Beach start and quite a lot of waiting at the start, but he was super fast and managed to gap them in the closing stages of the swim and really set up to jump on the bike first and put the pressure on early on.
Yeah, big effort in the last little part of that swim there. So Nicholas got onto his bike okay, and it was Yuri Kulin from the Netherlands that was really getting after it over those speed bumps really, really quickly, getting back down into the saddle. But they had a lot of competition out there today. It was Gerber from France. There was Clément Mignon from France, and Rico Bogan was trying to get in there and do some of the pace setting as well.
Yeah, no, they all were having a crack at getting to the front there, but had Rico Bogan, who actually was really strong over those closing kilometres and managed to get to the dismount line first and really put the pressure on early on the run and managed to get a good sizable lead very early on and looked really comfortable until we had the likes here of Nicholas Mann, who moved up effortlessly again onto his shoulder.
Yeah, he really found his feet in about the halfway mark and really accelerated the way to take his Ironman Pro Series win over Yuri Kulin from the Netherlands here. And Yuri Kulin getting in not only the silver medal, but punching his ticket to the Ironman World Championship. And Clément Mignon closing it out for France there today. So well done to Clément to pick up the podium finish. All right, there we go. We got 2,500 points going by the way of Nicholas Mann. Yuri Kulin picks up 24.64 and Clément Mignon at 24.51. All the way down there, you got Andre Salversberg rounding out the top 10. Let's go over to the male Pro Series standings right now, Joe. We've got Matt Hansen, no change to the top three here. We've got Jackson Laundry. Colin Such from the USA is in there, but Paul Schuster was the big winner today.
Yeah, no, racking up another 70.3. Really great performance. Moves him into fourth place on the standings. So great performance today by Paul Schuster.
And also Clément Mignon moves up 18 places into 8th place right there. So well done to Clément Mignon racing in France. All right, time to go over and look at our women's recap again. They started 4 minutes in arrears to our men today. Same thing, 70 metres out to the first part of the swim there. Then they were waiting around about 20 to 30 metres. And then Joe, dolphining, kicking, getting their way into the swim.
Yeah, no, Pamela Oliveira really stamped her authority on the swim really, really early. Even before they got into the actual channel, she put on the pressure and was led clearly from the rest of the women. But yeah, it was very, very tight racing with the top 5 women all coming out of the water very close in the end.
Yep. Charlene Clavel was the defending champion. She got into the transition area first, but it was Catherine Pohl from Germany that really set the early pace. This was Kate Curran coming past Pamela Oliveira, and she was involved in a lot of the pace setting, but it was this young lady here, the overall champion. This is Laura Madsen, just going to work at about halfway on the bike.
Yeah, and then she made that gap and then was able to just sort of conserve a little bit of energy and be consistent. And then really when she hit the run is where she just found that rhythm very, very early and was very controlled and very even pace. Even when we had Nikki Bartlett run up onto her shoulder and really apply a lot of pressure, she did not falter and in fact managed to overtake her and come away with an amazing victory.
It was a consistent and very patient performance by this young Danish athlete at 21 years of age. Winning a first Ironman Pro Series race is Laura Madsen from Denmark. Picking up second place in the silver medal was Nikki Bartlett with a fast start but a second place finish. And Kate Curran, also from the UK, picking up third place. Well, what a great day it was. Let's go over to the pro results. It was Laura Madsen collecting 2,500. There is Nikki Bartlett, 24.60. Kate Curran, 24.32. Great points by our top 5 ladies today, all in the 2,300s or above in our female results. Let's go and take a look there. Here's Maya Stage Nielsen now. She has moved up 6 places into the point standings, into first place, overtaking Kylie Simpson. We do apologise for that. They were unofficial results. These are the official results. Now she has a 125-point lead on Kylie Simpson. Fenella Langridge goes down 1 spot. So does Jackie Herring, Lotta Vilms and Hannah Berry. So too Danielle Lewis. Alice Alberts and Ellie Salthouse, Emma Palin-Brown, no change right there. But the big winner today was Maya Stage Nielsen. She's rocketing up there. 6 places up into first.
Yeah, amazing racing there by Maya Stage Nielsen to move up to the series leader right now.
Well, thank you for watching the Ironman Now coverage of the Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. The Ironman Pro Series point standings continue to get tighter as the pro are jockeying for positions out there. The series is at the halfway point and proving that every second truly matters. For all things Ironman Pro Series, go to proseries.ironman.com. You can watch even more Ironman Pro Series coverage with exclusive on-demand race replays in the United States and Canada by signing up for the Outside Plus today. For those not in the US and Canada, you can watch on-demand race replays by visiting proseries.ironman.com. Up next, Ironman Now broadcast of the Ironman Pro Series will be Sunday, July 14, Ironman Vitoria-Gasteiz. Coverage will begin at 1 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 a.m. Central European Time. Watch the live broadcast for free. It will air exclusively on Outside TV in the United States and Canada. Globally, you can watch the proseries.ironman.com, DAZN, and L'Equipe Live. For our entire team, alongside Joe Gambles, I'm Greg Welch saying so long from Ironman 70.3 Les Sables D'Olonne-Vendée. Au revoir.
This copyrighted broadcast of World Triathlon Corporation may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without express written consent of World Triathlon Corporation.